Hi, I'm Sophia Jessica, and this is Angel, and welcome to the fan carpet.
So first of all, congratulations on your film.
Thank you.
It's really good. And I'm going to start by asking, this film begins with a real historical tour. Buffalo Bill in Italy, and it turns into a story about myth making. What's more dangerous, a myth being false or a myth feeling true enough to shape people's actions?
A myth being, can you...
What's more dangerous, a myth being false or a myth feeling true enough to shape people's actions?
Being false, what does it mean? Exactly.
That doesn't exist, or something that people created and then it feels real.
Well, I think we need stories, that makes us feel alive or make us dream a little bit, We live in a reality that is sometimes surreal, sometimes violent. And I think our intent at least was to build a story that way, a movie that would subvert somehow the rules of the genre and reflect on the important or not important of truth, what's true, what is not true, how this myth are created, how story changes, depending on who is telling what story,
So what inspired you to making this film? Because you had a co-director with you, so what inspired you guys? Like, is there any films that inspired you to make this work? How was the creative process and the writing process?
There's many films that inspired us, but the main inspiration event, I would say, is this real legend that tells about the this legendary. Sorry, you'll edit this, no?
Yeah.
We can edit it, don't worry.
That's good. Come si dice sfida?
Challenge.
Yeah,
Challenge.
this legendary challenge between Italian cowboys and American cowboys during the Wild West show presented by Buffalo Bill in Rome.
Yeah.
And so, by the legend, of course, in the Italian newspaper, the Italian won. And so that was the spark, that put us working on research and find out about what was going on at that time, specifically, in Italy. So we thought about the myth of the United States coming for the first time in Europe.
Yeah.
The Western, being told, spread to people as a myth for the first time. And we, started to imagine the story of this cowboys that escaped with this woman who was, unhappy at home. And the idea was to subvert a little bit the genre so you could understand that the real cowboy is not really, the cowboy that you imagine would be the hero of the story is really not. The true hero of the film is Rosa, and so, But I think the starting point is always research somehow,
For
you
sure.
really dive into some word and you
And then you just
start to
create
imagine.
your own world from there.
Yeah. Then there's many films.
Yeah.
Of course.
Since you put so many scenes in this film, is there a specific scene that you had an initial thought for that it didn't make the final cut of the film?
I'm sure there is, although there is a lot of there's not so much we didn't put in the film, because the shooting was tight compared to how many things we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Although it's a nice and nice production, for an ambitious production, but I'm sure there's some moments between them, that didn't fit, between Rosa and Santino, that didn't fit in the film that I would have loved to see or feel. But I'm pretty happy with the edit we have.
That's what matters. So in the film, the whoever search for freedom sits in stark contrast to the brutal violence of post-unification Italy. So what does freedom actually means here?
Well, that's a good question, I think, that the movie raised. I like more movies that raises question than movies that gives answer somehow,
That's what you're thinking about. It's not about how it ends, but how Woody and like you just think about it for days and days. Like I can think about some films that I've seen it before that I still think to this day. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should rewatch it again. And then it just makes the audience go back in time and watch the film again and have a different perspective.
That's what I hope for.
That's what you hope for in your
for
audience.
people to go back and maybe catch up some details they didn't, you know, that they missed the first time they watched it.
Sure.
But there's, you know, I mean, there's a lot to be. Sorry again.
We will edit this.
No, but I mean, I think in the film, you know, we try to reflect on the idea of freedom and the idea of following a different, you know, social political path. There's two worlds that collapse. There's, you know, the Wild West show where all the rich people and the power goes, and then there are, you know, the other people that eventually in a specific moment of the film reunite in a kind of a rebellion. And so I think there are elements that, you know, gives you a hint of, you know, and I hope that each spectator, you know,
as their different
takes their own conclusion on it. Yeah.
For sure. So the film frames outcomes as chance, but the film is about who gets to decide the roles, right? So can you talk a bit about that?
Well, the chance is something that we were interested in as a starting point. You know, sometimes that's just the spark that comes at the beginning and gives you the possibility to go in a direction in which maybe you wanted to go in the first place. You know, you just didn't have the chance. For sure, for instance, and here, you know, to play with the coin toss and the idea of would I, you know, lose as I've been asked to, or win, you know, will she do that or not? And I think by the end of the film, you realize that it was all her will, of course. You know, the whole story was driven by her will to an extent that you could think that it's all her journey, her projection, everything, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So directed as a pair has been described as a team sport, ambition, constraints, play. Where does the work divide naturally? Who brings structure, who brings chaos, and where do the best arguments come?
Between me and Matteo?
Yeah, between you and Matteo, yeah.
Well, I mean, with Matteo
process?
we're all friends, you know. We know each other since we're 12, I think.
Right.
So we're a childhood friend. And
so
I miss some words. No, but compared to other co-direction in which I think people divided a little bit, you know, what to do. So some take care of the acting, some other take care of the picture. Or here we are two directors on a set, you know. So we always on everything, both of us. Of course, we, you know, follow. You know, a path or another, depending on who's more fit or who's better at that moment, specific moment. But I think that's the rich part of it, you know, because there's always a double layer on things.
Was there a favorite moment on set while you were directing with Matteo?
A favorite moment?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or a favorite scene to shoot?
No, I mean the movie was very challenging, and there's some scenes that I have imagined in my head, you know, that I was very satisfied with, and I think one of it is a scene in the train. I don't want to maybe spoil anything, but you know,
I've seen the film. Yeah.
There's a scene in the train in which Santino's character sings, and Rosa's character saw him singing that I particularly like. Yeah, and it was very enjoyable to shoot and very nice to hear those words put together, you know, that Vittorio Giampietro, the musician of the film, the composer of the film, had written, and Alessandro sings, and, you know, the photographer with Simone, everything was magical, yeah.
So, across the chase, the romance, and the violence, what emotion is the film most loyal to?
Besides what? Sorry?
Besides, across the chase, the romance, and the violence, what emotion is the film most loyal to?
Good question. I don't know. Because there's so many aspect of it. To me, it's I don't know which one you mentioned.
Chase, the romance, and the violence. So you cannot say any of those three.
No, I think there's a little bit of rebellion spirit in the film, you know, that I really like, because there's rebellion in what starts the film, you know, the thing she does.
Yeah.
And there is a reflection on that throughout the film that I particularly care about.
That's wonderful to hear. So after the film beat on reimagined tales and popular legends, what kind of story feels urgent next, and what kind of story feels worth avoiding for a while? So what would you like to do next, and what would you like to avoid? So what is your next dream to make possible?
I think it's I think in a certain way you always reflect on the same themes somehow, you know, and I don't want to say you make the same films, because it's not like this, but there are certain things that interest me that I would like to keep exploring.
Can
somehow.
you tell me one that you would like to explore?
No, but I mean, there's, you know, it's always mysterious how creativity comes along, you know.
Oh,
so
for
you might
sure.
have something in mind and then twist it, you know, and goes somewhere else you didn't imagine it would go. So for now, you know, the writing process, it's a long and and mysterious one that I really enjoy. So
it's a really
let's
enjoyable and crazy ride.
Let's see where it
sure.
will take us.
And that was my last question. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you very
time.
much. Thank you very much.
It was an amazing film, and it was a pleasure to meet you.
Grazie, for me too.
Grazie.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram for more content. Bye for now.
You show what you can do. I hear a siren. Maybe you were wrong about me. I'm dangerous and still. Why don't you give me a sign, like the sea? Everybody thinks that I'm okay. Sometimes I think I am too. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm waiting for the shockwaves to begin. Oh, won't you let me hold you for one time? Just a rainy day in a London cafe. A London cafe. So give me one last serenade. Say to me or swear at me till the night turns into day. And it was a shame when daylight faded, because we didn't notice at all.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.